initially, and Dogger admitted that they didn't know this was going on. Shouldn't you be having a workshop on how to stop that instead of how to get around to get exempt from these regulations?
Actually, we have a compliance agreement with EPA that we will discuss as part of these presentations. I really would prefer that people not interrupt these presentations. This is not about having a protest while we're trying to get something accomplished.
Well, I actually brought some poison water to show everybody what we're going to be exposed to and forced to drink if this poisoning of our water by our regulators continues. So, would you feel like drinking this water? Here. Excuse me. Try this water, and Sarah, if you feel like drinking the water that you're polluting for our children and for us, and that you have been allowing it for so long, you're the regulators. This needs to stop.
This needs to stop! You are our regulators. You have violated your mission. We hereby serve you your pink slip. Thank you. We, the people of California, fire you from your post. Shame on you for colluding with big oil to poison our aquifers. In this year of record drought, in this era of a warming planet, it is reprehensible that you are teaching them how to exploit our laws to poison our water. Our aquifers are not toxic waste dumps. One, we are the people. Two, you can't ignore us. Three, we will not let you poison our water. One, we are the people. Two, you can't ignore us. Three, we will not let you poison our water. One, we are the people. Two, you can't ignore us. Three, we will not let you poison our water.
Stop Fracking Long Beach, Stop Ventura Fracking, Center for Biological Diversity, Californians Against Fracking, Food and Water Watch, and the Sierra Club demonstrated at the Aquifer Exemption Workshop held by the State of California's Division of Oil, Gas, and Geothermal Resources, DOGGRD, in Long Beach, California, on Tuesday, March the 24th, 2015. Claire Lakewood, Center for Biological Diversity staff attorney, discusses why she came to the workshop and explains what is fracking.
Fracking lets you get oil. In California, it's usually oil out of the ground from places where you couldn't otherwise normally just have it flow out of the ground. What you do is you get massive amounts of water. You add in some toxic chemicals and you pump that through the ground so hard that you actually fracture the rocks underneath. As the oil comes back up, so does all of this toxic water. For every 1 barrel of oil, there's about 15 barrels of toxic polluted water that then need to be disposed of. The usual way to dispose of that in this state is to inject it underground and leave it there. Unfortunately, the places that it's being injected in this state right now are aquifers that we could be drinking from. That's a really big problem given California's historic drought. So there is a process that is in the Safe Drinking Water Act that ensures that there is a way to dispose of toxic fracking fluid. It's not ideal, of course. It would be better if there was no toxic fracking fluid to dispose of in the first place. But the idea was that wells that just have absolutely no chance of being used, either now or in the future as drinking water, could be approved by the EPA as being a place to dispose of that toxic water. In fact, DOGGR was giving out permits to inject all over the place, including into places that were protected by the EPA. Now that it's been discovered, DOGGR haven't said they're going to shut down those illegal wells. They're running a workshop for people so that they can fill out the paperwork and they can have those injection wells made legal. There's a NASA scientist recently came out and wrote an op-ed for the LA Times describing how California, in his opinion, has only 1 year of water left. We're currently in an historic, unprecedented drought. Last year, the agriculture industry lost $2.2 billion and 71,000 jobs because of this drought. And during this drought, instead of protecting our precious underground sources of drinking water, DOGGR is allowing them to continue to be polluted illegally. But I know that the Central Valley and all the way down through LA and around Long Beach area are areas where there are oil and gas wells, and those oil and gas wells include fracking wells.
Tomas Robecki, organizer for Food and Water Watch Ventura County, explains who is DOGGRD.
They're the Department of Oil, Gas, and Geothermal Resources here in California. They are basically here to they're supposed to protect us, but all they've been doing is giving oil industries a green light to frack, a green light to contaminate our aquifers, and the EPA is threatened to come in and take over Dogger's responsibilities here in California because of the recent scandal with over 532 injection wells contaminating clean water here in our county. So Dogger, they sound like they should be doing a good job, but in reality, they're just people from the industry policing themselves, so we can't let that happen here. And I'm here today to protest the 23 illegal injection wells that are currently injecting into clean aquifers in Ventura County. Ventura County, we're also a huge agricultural place. We're in our 4th year of extreme drought, and not only do we have these 23 illegal injection wells, we have several other injection wells in our area that have been polluting our creeks, been causing damage with trucks exploding just recently this past year. And also there's 5 creeks north of Ventura that have been contaminated with either flowback from fracking operations or also groundwater from deep within from being injected back into the aquifers in Ventura. So we've been poisoned on the surface with pesticides on our crops. We've been poisoned in the groundwater. And Ventura and Oxnard, we're very, very heavy Latino, over 75% Latino in Oxnard. They're telling us to conserve, but the agriculture and oil industry, they use over 80% of the water here in California. So it's pretty hypocritical for them to tell us to be conserving in this time, take shorter showers, when they're polluting our future water and they're using over 80% of our current waters. We really just need to take swift action and shut these wells down.
Elliot Gonzalez of Stop Fracking Long Beach explains why he demonstrated in front of the Aquifer Exemption Workshop at the Hyatt Hotel on Lakewood Boulevard in Long Beach, California.
We're in a drought, and because it poses risk to all types of health and safety issues. We're talking about, besides water contamination, which is a #1 issue, the threat of earthquakes. We know that fracking causes earthquakes, and we know California is prone to have a major earthquake anytime now. So what we're doing is we're really exacerbating the risk. There's also contamination to the air. Contamination to the soil. This is permanent contamination that cannot be fixed. You can't clean the water once it's been permanently contaminated. So we think the fact that we're in a record drought with no end in sight, and the fact that our government and the State Department have collaborated with the industry to help them and is hosting a workshop for them is something that the public should be aware of. And that's really what we're here today, is to send a message to not only the governor, but most important to the people, to the public, that our government, we feel, is not doing a good job at protecting us and is actually facilitating practices which may jeopardize our health and safety.
We are the people too, as well as Soy del Pueblo, which means I am of the people. Soy del Pueblo would like to see more take action to stop the pollution of our water. Join Stop Fracking Long Beach. It meets every other Sunday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Greenhouse, 149 Linden, Long Beach, California. Check out its Facebook page for the next meeting. Also, friend Stop Ventura Fracking Facebook page and sign the petition at www.biologicaldiversity.org.